Okay, so welcome back to Case Closed Anime Review, episode 223. We're here reviewing the newest chapter of the manga, which is basically, newest episode of the anime called Takagi and Date and the Notebook Promise Part 2, and the newest chapter of the manga. Yes, so we finally have a new chapter released. Just this week, actually just about a week ago it got released, so the episode itself finished from chapter 1080 was to the entirety of chapter 1081. So take a look at the last time. So you have Amuro posing as basically someone associated with the Kidnapper's boss, wearing a red bow tie, and gives him a signal, pack money, and supposedly leave the money there, and then of course you have Takagi and him walking off. And he about to walk away, and it's not to excuse me, Metro Police, can I ask you a few questions? And then she gets pepper spray, so she chases him. So basically, he runs away, leaving the boy in the car behind. Yep, his name is Alan, and apparently he's Canadian, though he keeps mentioning words in French, so I'm thinking he might be French Canadian. So he mentioned about particular, kind of detail. Excuse me. Everybody look around the area, see where they can find the place where he was being held. And it turns out there's actually another kid being held named Yuji, who's a friend of his. So they have Amuro, Takagi, and Sato all going separate cars. Takagi's taking a taxi, Sato's driving her car, and Amuro's driving his fancy sports car. So after they go off in separate directions, eventually they do figure out exactly the direction where the place is. First, they mention about this this brown tower with this crescent and a star, and it's a bakery. No, it's a Turkish flag. And turns out it's a Turkish restaurant. And of course, they find it, and of course, they find out presumably where he was being held. It's the apartment. And just by sheer coincidence, here comes the kidnapper. With, of course, Yuta, the little boy kidnapped. And of course, chase him down. Of course, Takagi brags yeah, look at you, your boss, kiddo? He's dead. Wait, how? I beat him to death. And then he gets beat by the other guy gets arrested. And of course, basically, then we have McGuire showing up with the kid's brother, want to thank him for saving his brother. And mention, where's the detective with toothpick? And of course, Takagi does not mention him. The date is dead. He got killed in a traffic accident. Yeah, he got killed just by being hit with a car. Now, one thing the show never explained, or at least they haven't got to yet, who the heck hit him? That's a really good question. Yep. So, he gives him, I think, a toothpicks. And then the episode, and of course, Amuro, there's this little subplot of Amuro, this is the beginning of the last episode where Sato may recognize Amuro, but Amuro denies it. And Amuro drives off in his own car. He sees that, talk about Sato's car. And of course, basically, then we go flashback to the Wild Police story arc where it was Amuro himself who suggested that Sato and Yumi become police officers. Yep. And he drives off, puts toothpick in his mouth, end of the episode. I thought it was really good. And next week, we get an original. I'm okay. But here's something interesting, though. We get the return of the idiot detective. Yes, the bumbling buffoon who is an inspector because he saw some cases thanks to Conan. Yeah, he's back for an original story. I saw that he's back. I'm really? He's back? Okay. I'm actually quite surprised that Masao is back. Yeah, this is actually the first time he's been back in quite a while. As a matter of fact, believe it or not, the next canon case he's featured in. Yes, just by sheer coincidence. That just happens to be his next case he's featured in. And by the way, the last time he featured in the anime was actually a canon story, believe it or not. A two-part known as Picking Wild Plants and Clovers, which aired almost 3 years ago. Yep. Excuse me. And so you might be thinking, okay, has he appeared in a filler story before? Yes, he has. The last time he did this was actually episode 939. That was the last time, back in 2019. That was the last time he appeared in a filler story. Thinking, really? Yeah, really. Which, I found that quite something. Now, in terms of the anime, it's only been about 3 years. As for anime original stuff, he hasn't done much anime original stuff. No, his first one was actually 360. And then 602, 726, last one being 739. Yeah, and this is also, yeah, it's been, like, in terms of the anime, like I mentioned, about 3 years since he was last seen. And here he is here, back, but in an original story. But at least, basically, he's going to feature in the next canon case. So, he's not going to be gone for very long. We're not going to wait 3 years for his next appearance like this one. Yep. But, good episode. Next up, we have a brand new chapter of the manga. Yep, released just last week. Chapter 1123. Now, weirdly enough, the way this chapter is presented is that we see a cold opening for a manga. Yes, I don't see this for mangas on here. Usually, when it comes to case closed, they have the image of the chapter and they move on to the main story. Here we have, take the boy just basically like, oh, like, Silver the Bridge. Talk about a badge he's wearing. The Samurai Kid badge, 20th anniversary badge. Now, if you're really curious, has it been 24 years since the start of Case Closed? No, it's been almost 30 years. It's been like 29 this year. Yeah, this year it's been 29 years since the series started. Because it started back in 1995. So basically, they're walking about, and of course they come across this cat who's got this piece of paper, and of course, like, oh, this piece of paper has got, like, well, says story H, help, and we get the chapter image. We get the chapter. Chapter 1123, the kidnapper disappears. And then we cut to Sato and Takagi chasing down the criminal. Drat, double drat. Gotta get that guy. For sure. Yawn, I can't keep my mouth open. Huh? So you have him just walk up, it's like, hey, which park? No parking. If you don't move pronto, you're gonna get a ticket. From Yumi. Oh, that's so funny. And the thing looks like her badge is basically like wrapped around. So then he just chases away. And then he's like, Sato, what are you doing? Inspector investigations. You chased off a kidnapper. Ran somebody. Yeah, all about. Yeah, of course they chase him down. And then Chisaki returns. Yes. It's been a while since she was last seen in the manga. Oh, yes. Now, if you're really curious, when was the last time she was seen in the series? Like, prior to this case? Like, I think it's absolutely great to see her again. Mm-hmm. It's not exactly been that long, per se. I mean, she has been featured in the anime thing. I do respect she featured in the anime. Yeah, it's actually been a bit since she was last seen. Yeah, I think the last time she was officially seen in terms of the manga was actually chapter 1087. Yeah, that was the last time she was seen. So it's been a while. I'd say like a year, maybe. Let me take a look and see about that. I think it's been about a year. Let's see here. Here we go. I'm going to take a look about this. Let's see. 87. Let's see. 87. 87. Okay, so. Wow. It's been almost 2 years since she was last seen. Interesting. Yes. Yeah. Only been a couple years. So, yeah, and her first, the case she debuted in, that she made her, I think it was her second ever appearance in the manga, was actually at the start of 2022. So it's been, as of right now, it's been 2 years since she was seen. Yes, she was just featured in the anime just not that long ago, just last year. And now, well, makes turn here. Yep. So, yeah, she hears that, oh, this motorcycle drive by. And then, of course, basically a kid gets nearly run by them. Of course, Sato moves out of the way. And, of course, the kid's saved by Chizuki. I think it's the pronounced name, correct? Chia. Yep. Yeah. And, of course, they explain what's going on. And she agrees to help. No problem. She's still like, oh, Conan's called. And he basically calls what happened at the start of the actual chapter itself. And, well, it's the kidnapping. It's like, let's go to the shopping center. Yep. And it's like, okay, so, too bad phone's locked. Closed for lunch. Look around like, ooh, I bet it's a pancake house. Sato, the kidnap's on your face. You're going to get a ticket. You better not go in. I don't want to go. I don't want things to get violent there. That leaves me no choice. Officer, strip down. What? And then, of course, they swap clothes in a car, and Takagi sees someone's butt in the window. And he mentions, like, he's like, Sato's like, hey, don't shove, it's tight in here. And Jared's like, look who's talking. And Takagi's like, whose butt was that? Yeah, and Chizuki, Sato's up close. Sato's wearing basically a regular police uniform, probably first time since she was a detective. And she's wearing, well, she goes, I'm sure she's like, and you show all these nice, sexy legs of hers. He's like, ooh, a little tight in the chest, but it'll do. Like, is the writer admitting the fact that she's got a bigger chest than Sato does? Like, it'll do. Is that so? And then she's like, okay, I'll borrow your husband. And Sato's like, embarrassed that they're dating, they're not married. And he's like, what? I thought this was funny. Welcome. 2, please. And of course, they just get a table. Okay, I thought, then we can find the kidnapper. 3 suspects, huh? Well, it's obvious. Bikers hook their left toes in the shift pedal while riding, marking their shoes. There are 3 customers here with dirty left toes. So one's a kidnapper. That's on Betty. Very interesting. I love this chapter. It is something, though, Chia, when she shows up, it turns to comedy. Because she's a great character. Yes. Now, I am not going to complain about Sato's chest size, but I thought it was funny. She was like, it's like the fact that basically that Sato's shirt is too small for her because she's apparently got a big chest. I thought this was so funny. An absolute somewhat of hilarious chapter. And it's only her 3rd case she's featured in. I think it's great. Now, I would not be surprised if her boss shows up. The one who's got thing for her. Yes, her boss. Her boss is this serious twin. Yeah. Jungo. Yeah. I would not be surprised if he actually shows up here. Yeah, I would not be surprised if he was in this arc. Though when he showed up in the previous case, it was the first time he appeared in years. Oh my gosh. When he appeared in the anime, like, because for him, it's been like, oh my gosh, like almost, oh my, really? You know, I just looked up one of his last canon appearances in the series. It's been like basically prior to appearing in that case appeared recently. Yeah, prior to appearing in that other case that appeared last year, that was his first appearance in the anime in 9 years. 9 years. Wow. Yeah, it shows the fact that the creators don't really care about this character very much. It's like every time he showed up, oh, it's a canon case. Okay, I would not be surprised, basically, if they actually put him in this arc. Yeah, I would not be surprised. His brother, meanwhile, Sango, yeah, he has not appeared in the canon case in quite a while. In terms of the anime, his brother last appeared back in 2017. Yep. Which is the two-part debuted. Momoji Oka. Yes, the girl's got a thing for Hiji. Yeah, and if you're really curious though, in terms of the manga, the last time he appeared was actually back in chapter 1099. Yes, seriously. Yeah, it might be a while before actually he comes back. Actually, he might come back really soon because he appears in the background in 1085, but in the main story, yeah, he'll come back really soon. Don't worry about that, but yeah, not much to say about this episode and this chapter. Both really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And of course, this weekend it will be anime original stuff. Now, there will be anime videos tomorrow and probably one comic corner, but we just do new anime. That's going to be like that for the next couple of days. And probably will be new anime until Friday. Except those two anime are having their final episodes for the season. And that's starting next week. For the first time in a year, Monday to Friday, no new anime. Yep. Unless, of course, those three anime just started, basically get their dubs released. I don't know. I have not heard anything at all. I'm not sure when the dubs were released. I mean, it's been only been well, in the case of a couple of them, it's only been 10 days since the episode came out in Japan. So, my guess is presumably this weekend they'll probably release. I'm not sure, but who knows. Okay? So, yeah, that's a really good episode of you, and that's it for videos tonight. So, tomorrow, stay tuned for that Moonlight anime talk, okay? Bye.